Welcome, friends. I am Arumugam here. Today is a very important and significant day in the history of Indian hockey. Today is actually the last day for the nomination for filing election for the Hockey India president. It's a prestigious post. This has fallen vacant due to the sudden resignation of incumbent president Dr.Narinder Dhruv Batra. Why he resigned, that's a big story, we will come back. Interestingly, the last day of the filing nomination, one of the greatest hockey players that Indian soil has created, a Padma Shri Award winner, first player to cross 400 international caps, that is, our own Dilip Tirkey, has filed his nomination. It's an interesting development in the Indian hockey. Before that, no player of stature has even dreamt of it. Mr. Dilip Tirkey has done it. But of course, Dilip Tirkey has his own post-playing career direction and prospects, and he has gained a lot of experience. For those who may not be knowing him, it's interesting to say, he was a former member of parliament, the Rajya Sabha membership. P.J. Patnaik, the chief minister of Orissa, who is on his fourth tenure, nominated him as a Rajya Sabha member of parliament. And he was the political whip of that Rajya Sabha group also. He has done an excellent service during that 6 years period. Then after that, he even contested a member of parliament election for lower house, which of course he has marginally lost in his Sundargarh district. After that, he got the prestigious post of being a chairman of the Orissa Tourism Development Corporation. For a person who has seen him as a shy boy from Sundargarh, who came for the first national camp, played his national championship in 1992 or 93, it is really a matter of pride for me that he has grown to this extent, which no one could have even imagined, including myself. His career would prospect to this level. So, Dilip Tirkey is here. He is going to contest Hockey India president post. In this context, I wish to say that hockey being a popular sport in India, many of its former players have entered the cesspool of politics, and I think they have emerged creditably well. The very first hockey player to enter into the politics is none other than first captain of the Olympic team, 1928 captain Jaipal Singh Munda, who incidentally belonged to the tribal part from which Dilip Tirkey hails from. He is from Ranchi, which is hardly a few hundred kilometers away from Sundargarh, where our Dilip Tirkey was born. He was member of parliament. He was a minister in the Bihar government. Those times, presently the Jharkhand, it was coming under Bihar government. He was votary of the rights of the tribal people. He was the first hockey player turned politician. As long as he lived, it is of course 5 tenures of member of parliament, he won his election hands down. So he is the first hockey player to enter politics, and he had a very, very glorious and illustrious career. Then, at present scenario, coming from 1950s and 60s to present, now we have 2 famous players. They were minister and are minister now. Sandeep Singh, a famous drag flicker who is known as Drag Flick Singh, on his life and times, even a cinema has come and entertained the people. Sandeep Singh is now the sitting Minister for Sports in the Haryana government. It's an interesting note. Haryana has produced so many Olympic hockey players, so many wrestlers and others, where sports is counted as a way of life. He is a sports minister there. In the very nearby neighborhood state, Punjab, none other than Pragat Singh, a Padma Shri awardee. Of course, he is also a defender. Incidentally, I'm talking about Dilip Tirkey, I'm talking about Jaipal Singh, I'm talking about Pragat Singh. Sandeep Singh, all are defenders. All were Indian hockey's defenders. Now they are going to defend different posts and how they entered the politics, how they defended themselves. That we are seeing it. So Pargat Singh, he was just 3 months before, he was the cabinet minister for education and sports. Then if you look at the politics and players are, of course, intermingled as far as hockey and Indian politics is concerned. Interestingly, there is another confluence of things here that pertains to how the election has come. You see, Hockey India was going on smoothly. Then there was a case filed by none other than another defender, Aslam Sher Khan. He is a former member of parliament. Many times he contested election. He won twice. He was formerly Minister of State of Independent Charge in the Prime Minister of India office, which is a very powerful post. So he was a Union Cabinet Minister. He filed a case against the sitting Hockey India situation president, especially Dr.Narinder Dhruv Batra. The conclusion of the case was that the Narendra Batra had to resign. So, a defender, former player, Aslam Sher Khan filed a case that was successful in the court of law. Because of that, the election has come all of a sudden. A committee was formed. It's called Committee of Administrators. The present setup in which Manipur Hockey Association president was a president of Hockey India. Jammu Kashmir secretary, he was the secretary of the Hockey India setup. They all had to resign. And the sport was being administered right now, last 2 months since the Delhi High Court judgment came. It's run by a committee of administrators. There is a retired Supreme Court judge, and there is a famous retired bureaucrat, a former election commissioner is there. Added to that, there is one former player, he is Saufar Iqbal, and he doesn't need any introduction. In the whole of our discussion, he is the only man different in the sense he is a left winger of Indian team. He played 2 Olympics, Padma Shri awardee, Olympic gold medalist. Very interesting here is that Saufar Iqbal is now the administrator, one of the 3 administrators and powerful administrator in the committee of administrators. Very interesting. More interesting with relation to Dilip Tirkey is another thing. When Dilip Tirkey played his Bikaner Nationals in 92-93, and he was called for the first India camp, the national chief coach was Saufar Iqbal. So it was in 93, I met 3-4 Orissa players on the verdure of National Stadium. Nowadays it is called Major Johnson National Stadium in Delhi. A thin, unbelievably very thin antithesis of a defender, Dilip Tirkey was giving his trials for selection. This was for the 1993 Asia Cup. So Saufar Iqbal was the national coach. Of course, Dilip Tirkey was not selected for the senior team that time, but he was selected for the junior. In 1995, he made his international career. In 1995, during the Indira Gandhi Gold Cup, he made his international debut along with another player called Baljit Singh Saini. From 1995 to another 15 years, Dilip Tirkey was part of the Indian team. A thin, normally the defender used to be very burly figures, awe-inspiring and awe-evoking kind of, muscular body, they used to have it. But Dilip Tirkey was antithesis of everything. He was very lean, but of course, he is very determined. He had a firm hit, clearances, anticipation, stealing the ball at the nick of time. So he did everything, and he improved his penalty corner drills. Then he has become penalty corner executioner of direct hit method. Those times the drag flick thing have just come. Many people tried, but in the Atlanta Olympics, it was Dilip Tirkey who would bring goal. He was not the first choice for penalty corner, that was given to drag flickers. But Dilip Tirkey, whenever given the chance, he scored 4 goals. That was the only 4 goals scored through the penalty corners. So this is how he made his career prospect. And he has become a very great player. Without him, not even Indian B team or Indian senior team left. Even one point of time, when he was selected for Sultan Aslan Shah Cup, he had to plead them, I am reaching only morning from the senior team. Why are you sending me to B team in the evening again to Sultan Aslan Shah tournament? Then there was a doctor, Dr. Cruz, recently expired. He also told the press he is taking overload. Even his hemoglobin content has come down below 12, which is not supposed to be for a healthy hockey player. Give him rest. I am quoting this to say how essential he was, how important he was for the teams of the 90s and early 2000s, and what was his contribution and significance. He was very late in getting the captainship. He got the captainship very late in his career compared to all others. But once he got it, he managed a good team. There were a lot good wins. There are many things have happened. But all the time, the permanent fixture, Dilip Tirkey, was a calm and composed person. Politician has to have very good communication. I don't think Dilip Tirkey had a very good communication skill that was restricted to only among his players inside the team, in the camps, but not outside the hockey world. He was very secluded. He was very widely wise, conservative in things, and he has not even given hundreds of interviews like some others who were not even comparable to him, but they were very popular, have become popular because of good communication skills. He was not that. But things have changed post his international career. Normally, after the international career is over, player take a rest and lead a comfortable life. He did not do that. He actually resigned the post. He was in a good post in Indian Airlines those times. He resigned the post. He plunged into politics. Actually, the National Party, Indian National Congress, as well as they were ruling party at the center that time, and the regional party, PJD, whose linchpin is Mr. Patnaik, both wanted him to be there in their party. But in his wisdom, Dilip Tirkey joined PJD, Biju Janata Dal, and they have made him member of parliament for one period. After that, he contested election in Sundargarh, which he narrowly lost to another veteran. Then he was made chairman of the Orissa Tourism Development Corporation. That was when the Junior World Cup was held in Bhubaneswar recently. He gave a party to all the visiting players, journalists, and all others. He always mingled, helped the people. You can see this 15 to 20 years, this period, he could transform himself to an excellent communicator, a man who can take many people along, and eagerness to leave his imprint everywhere. So this is a remarkable transformation with his age he has undergone. Now he is, in his wisdom, he has decided to contest this election. Okay. The point is, will he be able to win this Hockey India president election? There is no doubt. He is a very competent candidate and he has made a history, like he made a history in the hockey world, in the field hockey world. He is the first hockey player to cross 400 international caps. Before that, no one has touched that magic figure of 400. Now you have two more people. So he achieved there. Whether that kind of imprint can he make in the public life? Because these are two different cup of teas. Performing well on the ground is one thing, but taking all the people together, winning the election, and running the National Sports Federation is another thing. Will he be able to do it? Here I can give my judgment. He is capable as an administrator. He has quite competency because last 20 years, as I explained, he was head of big organization like Odisha Tourism Development Corporation, and he contested the election, then he won elections, and he has been along promoting sports and attending many cultural things, improving his communication skills, how to take people along, all that thing he has gained. Certainly, he even formed a hockey association, and that was being run by all his friends. Now, the election is, as I said earlier, is a different thing. Will he be able to win? It's around 35 to 36 electoral colleges there. Each state will be voting once. I don't know how much hard work he has put in, how much homework he has done There is no much idea about it because, as happens always in the elections, people do silently without informing anybody. Even today was the last day of filing nomination for Hockey India president election. In the morning, he flew in, filed the nomination, and just left today. Till he himself published his photo in the social media, no one knew he is going to contest election. That means he must have done some homework. He must have got his arithmetic correct. Then he came and he is standing for what he wants to achieve. There is one thing, now there is an atmosphere. There are many people who feel this time has come for players to come up and stake their right place in the administration. Don't be a guest player, don't be a player who will get pension from the federation, who will get some royalty from federation only for monetary benefit, is that. People have come up, people are promoting, the rules also promoting. Because of that kind of rules, only many of the sitting people had to resign now. For an example, nobody can hold more than 2 terms of office in state or national body. That's why many known people cannot openly contest election. They can remote control that happens, or they elect their relatives, something like that. So the atmosphere due to sports code introduction and the court of laws, Supreme Court or High Court, they are upholding the rights of players to come up in the sports federation. I think the atmosphere is good. Will he be able to utilize that atmosphere and win the election? Because there is no popular vote involved in this. Image or playing credentials are not going to count, though it may give you some additional weightage to your candidature. What is most important is out of 32, 36 electoral college, how many are with you? That's the last count. That is the only factor that is important. I'm really doubtful whether so many people sitting at the state will come forward and break the hood. Yes, let us select a player. Will they do it? Hockey should do it. I wish hockey should do it, but I'm not sure whether in the hockey they are going to do it. I wish they should do it. On this conduct, recently I cannot escape from quoting one thing. After this High Court and Supreme Court judgments, 3-4 sports federations, the committee of administrators came into place. One of that sport is football. It's actually football, the success of that, whoever litigant, that has brought changes into all other sports federations like hockey. There, as per the new procedures, a famous player called Baching Bhutia, he contested president election, but he would not win. That's not an issue. Winning and losing is always there. As a player, they can take it. But the margin was very huge. It was very surprising. Such a player could not get muster votes. So my word of caution, I made of advice to my friend Dilip Tirkey, whom I have seen from the age of 13 to now. Even I have written this book in 2003 when he was, as a captain, won the Afro Asian Games gold medal. This is the only book written on him. It was released in his hometown, Bhubaneswar, by the same chief minister who was in his first tenure. I wish and presume he has done a lot of homework and got necessary votes. Otherwise, whatever time is left, not much time is left, 1 week or 10 days, he will do that and he will emerge successful. As of today, I cannot say if he is uncontested, it's very good. Player of his stature, player of his experience, player of his open mindedness, you need at the helm of the office. More so when Orissa is the feedback for players, with so many academies coming up, grassroots level being developed right now, and the government of Orissa opening its purse strings to organize in a grand way major tournaments. And of course, a few months' time, we will have that era of World Cup again coming. We have already had one World Cup there. It was grandly organized with the leading sports stars and cinema stars all coming, gracing the occasion. Orissa has rightfully claimed they are the chief promoters, reasonably so, and because of their involvement, encouragement, the Indian team went on to win the bronze medal after 41 years gap at the Tokyo Olympics. So they are the rightful claimant of India's success with the active cooperation of Hockey India and FIH. I presume the state government of Orissa is solidly behind Dilip Tirkey, and himself, Chief Minister himself is a ardent fan of Dilip Tirkey, is the man who brought him into the public life. Otherwise, he'll be sitting in some airport doing his normal job because he was an officer with Indian Airlines those times. And Mr. Patnaik, the sitting chief minister, who is the fourth time he has won the election, he will use his influence and try to gather votes for him, or his moral support will work wonders for Dilip Tirkey. I wish and hope things happen this way. But as far as final verdict, my fingers are crossed. Nothing can be said. At the same time, I wish the greatest hockey player I have seen from day one to even now will be successful and breaking another ground as far as hockey administration is concerned. Thank you for watching.